And this is something that no one else has pointed out, but to me is remarkable, and I want to make sure that I quote this and get it right for you. This is a Politico story from May, okay? So this is why I think that Donald Trump is going to win in a landslide if the left continues with COVID and the riots. And now they're clearly trying to distance themselves from the riots, but it's almost as though that's worse because people are going, wait, but you donated to the rioters. You set them free.
You
give them back to you, the people. So this is from Politico in May. Now, Jason Furman, he was a top economist under President Obama, and he's a professor at Harvard, okay? So this was him talking about the re-election, again in May. If Trump has any ability to do nuance, he would say, we are not there yet. Re-elect me to finish the job. The Biden argument will be the unemployment rate is still 12%. And even with those millions of jobs, we are still down 15 million jobs. And the only way for this to be fixed is new economic policy. So he was saying worst case scenario that even if Donald Trump gets unemployment down to 12%, we'll still try and show how when it was up toward 20%, how many jobs are still lost. Well, now this comes out. So May, August, September, from CNBC, non-farm payrolls increased by 1.37 million, and it brought the unemployment rate to 8.4%. So Donald Trump should win because the Democrats tell you that he should win.
By their
They're
own
just running
standards,
promo for us now.
It's over.
I think I'm going to win the election. Why's that? I don't know. Ask Obama.
Run clip.
This is why I think also Donald Trump is going to win, because people have said this before, too. So now we have the economy. Worst case scenario, they thought would be 12% unemployment. And that's also really sad, the fact that Democrats, their worst case scenario is lower unemployment. They are banking right now on violent unrest, more violent unrest, so they can blame that on Trump, and higher unemployment, so they can blame that on Trump. Again, like I said, Democrats are the party of negativity. The only way a Republican gets elected is if there's hope, is if there's optimism. Because if Republicans are the party of the rich, let's just say they're the party of the middle class, upper middle class, like 80-something% of Americans who benefited from the tax cuts. This company hired 2 new people. Let's just say that they aren't at the bottom, absolute scraping the welfare barrel of society, right? Anyone who's benefited from Donald Trump, or at least you want to be in those categories, you have to vote for Donald Trump because they're saying this is the possibility and it's benefited those people. We believe that you can do the best for yourself. We believe that you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps. We believe that if we get out of the way, you can be successful. And we see that with record high wage growth that we've ever seen in modern American history. The Democrats say, listen, if you don't vote for us, it's broken, it's lost. You're going to see more violence. You're going to see more unemployment. Donald Trump, to win re-election, wants unemployment as low as possible and wants as little violence as possible. He needs that to be reelected. Democrats require highest unemployment they can possibly create and the highest violent unrest they can possibly imagine. That is what that's what's required for either party to win this right now, and the polls reflect that. Okay, so let's be clear. Here's something else. A lot of people have been saying, well, with Donald Trump, they didn't account for the secret voters the last election.
Right.
They didn't account for it, and now they weigh the. First off, I haven't seen polls really weighing it for that, and I would wager that considering people are getting shot in the street, and people are losing their jobs, I would wager that you have more secret Trump voters at this point. And statistically, I have something to back that up. The latest Investor Business Daily, the IBD TIP, IBD, inflammatory bowel disease, just the tip poll, shows that 20% of voters are uncomfortable revealing their political candidate preference. And that number's up to 28% for independents. Now, let me ask you to think about this for a second. 20% of Americans are uncomfortable. 28% of independents, right? When we talk about the undecided vote.
That's huge.
Uncomfortable listing their political candidate preference. Do you think that people would be afraid right now to list their favoritism, to express it publicly for Mr. Empathy Dementia himself, Joe Biden? Or listing their preference for the president, who if they merely put up a bumper sticker, their car's getting keyed, or a sign, it's getting burned down, and if they express their support publicly, they get fired from their job. Who do you think? Again, this is 20% of voters don't want to list it. 28% of independents. Why am I moving my hands like Donald Trump? I've been doing the character too much. Who do you think the majority, nay, the vast majority of those people are actually supporting? You think it's the Biden people who are afraid? Well, let's just compare that. If you are a Biden supporter right now in Hollywood, in media, in the entertainment industry at all, in education. We just saw a principal rioting with Black Lives Matter. If you support Biden, it can only help your career prospects if you sing it from the rooftops. If you are a Donald Trump supporter, you keep your head down and you surprise people in the voting booth because you don't want your lawn being burned down.
Exactly.
So this is 20% of people, 28% of independents. And already the polls are tightening.
Big time.
So this is something to me, and keep in mind, Joe Biden, let's be clear about this. It was a threat when he said, do you really think if you elect Donald Trump, the violence is going to stop?
Right, exactly.
He's telling us the violence will continue. I don't know.
Harris said the same thing.
Yeah, it's an ultimatum.
I don't know. What's going to happen with the violence? I don't know. It depends on who you elect. Maybe they're coming for your suburbs. I don't know.
Well,
We're not sending them or anything.
I hooped, right? So, excuse me. At the conventions, they said that the DNC put out a great platform. I have no idea what it is other than raising taxes on everybody, right? Even though they say it's just the rich, it's everybody. And they said the RNC didn't put out any new... Exactly, that too, right?
Meeting
I forgot.
with rapists like Kamala Harris. We'll get to that in a second. By the
More
way, let me
protesters.
clarify. Jacob Blake. Yeah,
Jacob
rapist
Blake, yeah.
Jacob Blake.
Just that guy, yeah. They said the RNC, this is the first time they haven't put out a platform. And I was like, all he's going to say is, I'm going to do what I was doing before the world almost ended.
The same
and
thing
it
we've
was
been doing.
working really, really well. The Democrats are dependent on chaos. They have nothing else to sell. They're dependent on chaos and saying, look, the world's on fire.
Yeah.
We can come in and at least put out part of it, right? Donald Trump is like, the world's on fire, and I put it out.
Right.
Look at the unemployment rate. It's going back. Look at the stock market. It's doing really well. Look at all of these
and you know what's wonderful?
metrics.
He largely put it out, and I'm against some of the big spending, of course, that we see from Donald Trump, but I also understand there is nuance there because businesses were shut down by the government. But he mostly put out the fire by getting out of the way and helping Americans get back to work.
Yeah.
He put out the fire. He helped the American economy by reducing taxes on businesses. And some people gave me crap for my tweet saying, I know for a fact that we hired 2 people because of the business. They go, oh, you wouldn't do that. It's anecdotal, but I'm using an anecdotal example because it's personal. Okay. Because of the statistics that are reflected. I can tell you exactly who they are. Bryce and Angela.
Yeah.
Bryce and Angela. Your jobs are a direct result of Donald Trump's tax policy. And not only because of the money that we saved in taxes, which for many businesses are many, many tens of thousands of dollars, but also people don't understand there are a lot of small businesses out there that have to borrow money just to make inventory for the next quarter. They're on credit just so they can stay afloat. And so when businesses see that not only do they have less in the form of a bill right now as far as taxes at the end of their quarter, but they can see how it's going to dramatically increase their profits over the next year or 2 years. Guess what they do? They invest R&D and employees. We've done that right here. And if you join up at Mug Club, liveofcrowder.com/Mug Club, listen, you guys are the ones who fund us. We'll support this movement, everything we can do by hiring more people. We don't have any Al Jazeera money. It's funny. I just saw Cenk Uygur going after Daily Wire, PragerU, because they have like billionaire, and they do. It's a nonprofit. They have billionaire funders, whatever it is, like people who give money, which is their right to do. But it's funny to me that they're talking about people being beholden to investors. Like, you have money from a terrorist foreign entity.